Good afternoon, folks, and happy Sunday. Today is going to be day 66 working down here at the ranch. I decided to come down a little later in the afternoon, let it cool down just a little bit. Also give it another full day to kind of dry up down here. We didn't get any rain as far as I can tell yesterday, so that's a plus. So I gotta tell you, I'll say the coin's still up in the air, but I was trying to flip a coin on what I was going to try to do today. So I think the decision that I came to is I'm going to try to go down here and I'm going to try to get a bucket of dirt. And I'm going to take it back up here on this trail back here, and I'm going to see if I can slowly work my way back to that little corner that I need to clean up there, and see if I can get that little corner opened up. If I can get back in there, I'm gonna try to get as much dirt in there as I can to kind of fill in some of those low spots. It seems like there's just a couple real low spots that if I can get that filled in, kind of get that dirt packed down in there a little bit, then maybe, just maybe, I can break into that little area that I want to try to open up so that I can, I don't know if this thing seems like it's looking up in the air there. See if I can break into that little area where I want to try to get some dirt. So if I get back there and I don't feel comfortable and I feel like the tractor is going to sink, I'm going to come back down here to the bottom. I'm going to get as much dirt. I mean, there's a really good chance. So we're going to basically call this dirt day. We're going to do the dirt day down at the ranch. But if I can't get back up in there, I'm going to come down here, and there's a really good chance that either way I'm going to use up the majority of what dirt that I have left. So I did a lot of babbling yesterday, but we did get quite a bit done. We learned a few things yesterday, and worst case scenario, I may come back up into this area, knock down a few more trees, or possibly try to push my way into that area over there. But I feel like not only from watching the video, but from everything going on in my head, there's about 10,000 things I want to do. I can only do one at a time though. Day 66, here we go.
I did my best, folks, to try to keep my head as still as possible while I was in the old point of view mode here. But this little tree right here, we're going to take care of that. That was about strike 3 for that one. But it was a little bit soft right here. I was kind of trying to ease on in there, but I'm hoping it kind of packs down. Well, I felt like I was pretty bound and determined to get myself stuck out here in the corner back here. I'm pretty sure there was like a tree in there, or a tree log that was in there that was giving me a little bit of trouble, so I wasn't able to just push right on through there. But then I had the stick here stuck in my bucket. Had to find me a place to drop her off, but it seemed like if I would get just a little bit off that trail, I'd definitely start sinking down just a little bit. So I think I decided shortly after this that I was probably going to leave well enough alone back here and try not to get myself stuck. But we're getting ready to go take care of that tree that kept giving me a whole bunch of trouble here in just a second. But of course, if you know me, I figure, well, I'm just going to keep on trying, push it to the limit here just a little bit, push it to the limit one more time. That should be like a song or something. But as you can see here to my right, I think I'm going to show you here in a second. It was definitely sinking down in there. And I think that's when I kind of decided I needed to go on and get out of there.
Sunk down pretty good there.
So, well, then I try to come from this other side here and, I just basically made a bigger mess for myself, if you ask me. Kind of just pushed it right into the trail that I go up and down in, but I never said I was the smartest guy around, folks.
Oh, yuck. Sunk down pretty good right there.
And just in case you were wondering, those are mosquitoes that keep flying around in front of the camera there. And I mean a lot of mosquitoes. So after deciding I was going to quit messing around back there before I got stuck, I figured I would come over here and see if I could get stuck. I sped up the time just a little bit, but I was actually going really slow through here because one, there's a lot of stumps sticking up out of the ground and a lot of debris. So what I actually did was I tried to use the bucket to kind of push the way in front of me just to make sure if there was anything big, I'd get it out of the way.
All right, hopefully you guys can hear me. My other camera's in the tractor. Oh, yeah. There's a... Oh. Yeah. There's a part of me that says I might have better luck going that way. It's still pretty soft back there, but I do think I can get back there and at least drop some dirt in. But I kind of wanted to clear this little path off here so I can get back into this area. I think if I get rid of some of this big stuff, I should be able to push right back through there with the brush hog and kind of open it up. It's still a little bit wet back there, but I kind of need to get this little corner cleaned up back here. So I keep running into this big stump back there. I tried to put it up out of the ground, but I can't get it out of the ground. So I think I'm gonna spend a little time and clean up this little path right here and see if I can get a little trail opened up going back to this big pile of wood back here, big pile of trees. Guess we'll see what happens. Like I say, it's got, I don't know how well you can see this, but they kind of piled up a whole bunch of debris. That right there is a big tree trunk or a big stump. There's a couple decent sized stumps in here that I think if I get them out of the way, I'll be all right. So we'll see what happens. I may redo this whole little thing right here just in case you guys can't hear me, but I feel like you're just as close as you normally are. Figure I'll pile a big pile up right over here, catch this whole thing on fire one day. I got a lot of fires. Here we go.
Yeah, I feel like you guys could hear me just fine. Felt like I was kind of yelling there at one point in time, so I went ahead and turned it down a little bit. But anyway, I was a little bit excited to be able to get in here and make this trail. Now, if I say it in the next video, I apologize. Kind of forget how everything lines up, but running two cameras gets a little confusing. But I was pretty glad to be able to get back in here. They definitely dropped when they pushed these trees back here. I felt like whatever didn't make it, they were just like, yeah, whatever, kind of just left it there. But right here was a little bit sketchy. I decided to dip through here, but there were a couple logs in the middle of these bushes there. And as you can see to the right, a whole bunch of just chunks of logs laying there. That's what I put there, but I think I put it there because there was already some there, but whatever. Right here, I tried to push this big stump up out of the ground. Yeah, I don't think it budged right there. I think my tractor actually like damn near did an endo. So I was a little bit hesitant to keep going too much farther in here, but I kind of found another path through and basically was able to break on through and get a nice little path back to that big burn pile that we're going to have to burn at some point in time, folks. All right, folks. Well, just in case that other camera wasn't recording or whatever, when it's on my head, I can't remember if I turned it on or turned it off. So I kind of came through here, cleaned this up a little bit. There's still some big stuff I need to kind of pull on up out of here, but I kind of gave myself a way in and a way out. There's a big tree in there that I'm going to try to get pushed out of there eventually. Honestly, I kind of did. Oh, I'm not going to let you win today. Yeah, not today. I kind of gave myself a way to get in and get out if I need to, but knocked our pole down over here. See, this area over here is pretty wet still. I started sinking just a little bit over there. See if we can get our pole back in the ground here. Here we go. Good as new. Good as new. Yeah, so it's still pretty wet right here. It's not
terrible. Just got a couple low spots, but you know, I started thinking maybe I would come in here and maybe start taking up some dirt. The problem is it's a nice big opening that I might be able to do something with once I get this burned out of here. And I thought about doing that one of these weekends. I think even if it's dry, probably won't have that big of a deal. Not positive. That looks like something different though. But there's definitely some critters running around in this area. Out there looks like a raccoon, if you can see that. But here's the I think I showed you this one day. This right over here is that little road. Seems like there's an easier way to get to it. Maybe right over here. But anyway, it's still pretty blocked off. But look at that. That road is... Be careful in here, folks. That is nothing but a mud road right there. That's the absolute definition of a mud road. So I don't know. I don't know that I'll ever be able to use that road. Not unless I really come in with some serious clay and gravel and stuff like that. But which just kind of means I got to find another way back to the back there. I'm just looking at some of these tracks, mostly deer, a couple raccoons. Pretty good raccoon track right there, I think. That's probably the one that ate all the food out of there. So anyway, this is kind of that little mangrove swamp type of thing we got going on right here. We made our way into there at one point in time. I think that would have been a mess trying to push all the way through. But what I was kind of getting at with this area, I went the long way around on that, is I might be able to go this way to get to the little area I want to get into. I think it's just a little bit farther this way, but it seems like they kind of piled all this stuff up along the edges, which is going to make it tough. But I'm not 100% sure, but I think just right over into those bushes there is that area that I'm wanting to try to get into to try to bring out some dirt. And again, I may break down and do it right here. I just feel like this is a nice big area that I might be able to do something with. So we'll see what happens. But all right, so I kind of got mission accomplished, or at least right here. I got me a little trail coming through. I should be able to get in and out with the tractor. I'll probably go ahead and set the game camera back up today since I've got it out here. I'm gonna see if I can get another bucket of dirt and take some more right back there where I kind of just made a mess, and see if we can start kind of slowly but surely getting that packed in so I can get around that corner. This right here is another little trail that we've had forever. It's got a lot of big trees laying down in there, but we may eventually push our way back through there. I think it'll be just a matter of time before I have all this right in here cleaned up. I was gonna do it today, but I want to try to get some more dirt back into that hole before the end of the day. So anyway, here we go, rolling on.
So a few minutes ago, while I was doing the editing, I was sitting there thinking to myself, did I ever go back there and fill in those ruts that I created when I went back there and dang near got stuck in the mud? So I was pretty happy when I realized that, yeah, I did. I decided to go on back here and put some dirt in back here. It definitely seemed to get a little bit worse the more that I was back here. So I am pretty glad I didn't push my luck too much more. But I feel like if I can get a couple more days, folks, it'll be dry enough to get back here, get this little corner cut out and move on towards the back. And I feel like just about every time I walk back here, I'm like, I need to get that pile of wood out of the way. I need to get all them sticks out of the way. Well, we'll just push it right there and probably catch it on fire at some point in time. Why not? So as I was backing up, I thought to myself, maybe I can cut across here. Maybe I'll just push my luck just a little bit more. And it seems like almost as soon as I started pulling into there, right about here, I realized I was starting to sink, and I backed up out of there and got out of there as quickly as possible.
All right, folks, I decided to come on down to the bottom here, see if I can poke in and get a little bit closer to where all that water's kind of been gathering at. I think I got a little bit of a path that I can get into. Not sure how much I'll record, mostly because with the brush hog I'm kind of going backwards, so it's hard to really show you what I got going on, but I'll kind of show you the afterwards if I can get in here. But I think I'm gonna try to go right through this path right here, one side or the other, and see if I can get in there. I think if I could go all the way back to the beginning, I would ask them not to come in here and mulch. I didn't ask them to come in and mulch. They kind of did that on their own before I kind of bought it, but it's just a mess, folks. I mean, there's so many trees that didn't get devoured. I've seen videos where they go in and I mean they take everything's gone, the stump, everything. And this wasn't the case down here. It's just anyway, I'm not going to complain too much about it, but it's a mess, and it's been a mess since I got in here and started. But I think if I could go backwards, I'd say, look, just let it be, because it seems like the areas that they haven't touched, I've been able to get in there and get those cleaned up pretty easily, and really with like hardly anything left over. So with all that being said, it's if I didn't say already, it's about 5:30. I got probably another hour and a half before I'm gonna get on out of here. So I'm gonna try to get a little path poke through over here, see if I can get down into that bottom there and start kind of putting in some dirt and trying to get it to where it's, you know, I don't know, leveled out or something. It probably needs a lot of work, but I'm gonna mostly try to fill in the low spots, so that if nothing else, if we get all that rain, maybe it'll kind of filter into here a little bit and even other places. But it just basically sat down there for over a month. So anyway, I'm gonna hop on the old tractor and see if we can punch us a little path through there, get a little bit more dirt going in there. I went, and this is what got me talking about the mulching, but I kind of walked along those edges over here, and I got this big tree right here, and I think I'm gonna basically have a fire right at the base of this thing, and see if I can at least get that out of the way so I can kind of start working my way back. And anyway, over there, just there's so many big trees that didn't get mulched up that are still in the ground. So I'm gonna have to basically push and poke all those up out of the ground and get them out of the way. And I think right over here I can just kind of poke through, bring in some dirt, start filling in that area. Here we go.
Well, as you can see, this dirt is dwindling away. I feel like if I go down there tomorrow and get some more work done, I'm probably going to be completely out of dirt, especially if I can fill in some more dirt down here in the bottom half. It might be gone. I was also surprised at how packed this dirt was. I had to kind of keep taking a couple stabs at it there to get it loosened up so I could actually get a decent bucket load into the bucket there. Luckily for these two trees here on the left and right of me, I had just enough space to slip on through there and get some dirt down to this water hole. Yeah, so I think it was this last load I brought in. I think this is the last load I bring in. I started really starting to cause a mess down there. I was sinking in a little bit and causing some ruts, and decided I probably wasn't going to bring any more dirt in there. And if you remember, I said, luckily for those two trees on the right and left, I was able to slip right in there without having any problems. The same cannot be said about the pine tree that we are about to devour. I will give it a little bit of credit, though. For no bigger than it was, it did put up quite a fight. I mean, I don't know if it was so much the tree that put up the fight, but it was pretty soft all the way around it. So I ended up kind of maybe causing a bigger mess than I really needed to, or maybe more of a mess than it was worth trying to work this tree over. But I kept kind of backing into it, and well, after a couple times, I decided it was time to go ahead and get rid of it. But when I went over here to this other side, because I was trying to push her out of there and wasn't having very much luck, I just about backed off into that really soupy stuff. Yeah, if you couldn't tell, I was a little bit excited. Gave a little giggle there when I was able to pick up that old pine tree and carry it over there to that other pine tree that, again, eventually I'm going to set on fire. At this point, I'm just ready to burn everything down. But it did create a little bit more work for me, and it dwindled my dirt down quite a bit more. So, again, I imagine within the next couple of days that I go down there to do some work, I'm going to be pretty much completely out of dirt.
Well, I ran into that pine tree like 3 times. And I played baseball, so 3 strikes and you're out. Had to go ahead and get rid of it. I did make a little bit of a mess getting it out of there, but kind of opens the place up a little bit. Anyway, hopefully I'll get that smoothed out. Okay, so I was able to get in here. I kind of started wearing a trench into the ground here, so I'm probably going to come through and kind of fix where I was digging down. Excuse me. I kind of started wearing a trench out through here, so what I may do is come in, just try to fill in some of them low spots with a little bit of dirt. But I kind of got right up there to the water. I don't want to get too much closer than that. But this actually over here is pretty dry. It's a little bit mushy right here, but you know, if all were to go well, I could come in from this side next time and kind of fill in a little bit more dirt. These mosquitoes are nasty, boys. I could fill in a little bit more dirt, you know, if nothing else, kind of get it blocked off from right there and kind of start working my way this way. But we go this way, there's just a little bit of a puddle right here, and you know, it's still a little mushy right there. But then it kind of, like right now, I'm starting to sink a little bit right in here, but it's real bad right here. I may have said this yesterday, but I had come in one day, day 64, the day after. Oh yeah, it's still sinking pretty good here. And I basically kind of blocked off one of the edges here. And the neighbor said that day that after that storm came through, it was pushing out through there really well. So what I need to do is I need to get over onto this side and kind of dig me a little bit of a trench going down through there, then kind of build up the sides here in the hopes that it'll push on down and go that way and out to the other side somewhere. And I think it's just going to be a little at a time. I'm going to have to get in here and do stuff, but I think I might end up just putting a little bit more dirt there where we kind of just made a trench going in with that other dirt. And that might be it for the day. Mosquitoes are eating me up. I'm dirty, sweaty, all kinds of stuff. But again, folks, like that's a big piece of lumber to just be laying around. So again, if I had it all over to do again, I'd say, hey, do me a favor, don't go in there and mulch. I'll come in there with something and burn it out if I need to. But I think that's what I'm going to end up having to do with a lot of this stuff down here, is just catch it on fire and hope that it burns completely out. The top is looking pretty decent. That's after a couple rounds of running the brush hog over it, so that might be what I end up doing down here. But anyway, I'm going to put a little more dirt in there. They're supposed to be bringing my carport tomorrow, so I have to meet them down here at some point tomorrow. They're supposed to call me. Depending on what time it is and depending on what's going on at work, I may do a little bit of work tomorrow. I probably won't film it or anything. I'll probably just come down and maybe work while they're putting up that carport. But kind of got that to park my tractor underneath. That way it's all dirty now. Now I need a little bit of rain to clean it up, but if it ain't one thing, it's six. Here we go.
I will say this, aside for the 6,000 mosquitoes down there just completely eating me up, it actually was a pretty nice evening out there. Much better than the heat of the middle of the day. I'd say this tree here to my right got pretty lucky that I was all wore out from tearing down trees and moving dirt. Otherwise, I think I might have gone ahead and got it out of the way too. I'm about half convinced I'm going to have to get me like one of them, mosquito things you put over your head where they can't get up in your face and like try to go in your eye and up your nose. And I think I swallowed one a couple weeks ago, but honestly, for as many of them as there were, they didn't seem to want to bite me. They just seemed to want to be right up in my face, which was pretty annoying, to be quite honest about it. Well, that dirt is pretty much all but gone, as you can see. It seems like it does not take long once you start getting some buckets and taking them to this place or the other. Once you start making a mess that you got to go back in and try to clean up, you'd be really surprised. Well, let's just say I was really surprised how much dirt that I actually went through. It seems to me like I'm going to have to call the dirt guy probably within the next couple of days. We talked about dirt a lot today, folks. I think that's why this is going to be called Dirt Day Down at the Ranch.
All right, well, we got that trail cam set back up. I got one over here on this tree, and I sat one right there. Probably put the rest of them up tomorrow when I come on down here, but ooh, folks, I'm hot, sweaty, and sticky, and getting tired of being attacked by mosquitoes. So that's gonna be a wrap on day 66. I appreciate y'all joining along with me here. I'm gonna probably be down here a little bit tomorrow, but I probably won't do any filming. I said that already, I know, but they're gonna put a lean-to up here in this area. It's gonna give me a place to put my tractor and other stuff, so that maybe I can kind of have my lean-to back, so I kind of have a spot to go in there and relax, because my chair is kind of hanging out right in the middle of the door there. Anyway, hope everybody had a great weekend. More than likely, I won't be out here next weekend. Next weekend's gonna be crazy. But if you guys go get you some fireworks. Black Cat's the best you can buy. Don't forget that. But have a fun, safe, happy 4th of July, folks, and we will catch you next time.